Hi friends, welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast where we keep the vibe high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. I'm your host Meg Davis and we're here for an episode of Bath Bombz. So I hope you're sitting back, kicking those feet up, relaxing, maybe pouring yourself a glass of wine, whatever gets you to just take a hot second for yourself this week to just sit back and dive into this convo tonight. We are going to be chatting it up about top ways you can live more fully and easily and hopefully prevent cutting your journey too short on this beautiful planet that we get to be a part of, aka ways to live fully and ways to easily cheat death, the cheat codes to simply living in general. Kind of a random topic, but my husband and I had like a bunch of random conversations during our hangouts at night this week, and it went from talking about the fighter lifestyle, like how fighters live and just like sign up every single day to just get the shit like beat out of them, or hopefully not beat out of them, but like they essentially sign up for these fights knowing that there's potential to get the shit beat out of them. Like, they just get hit everywhere. I could never do it, though, because the blood and the bodily fluids everywhere on that mat that do not get wiped up in between fights, that would do it for me. I would tap out every time if my face hit something that I didn't want it to. So, props to the fighters out there living their dream, doing their thing, training like crazy, but also having those moments where they get the shit beat out of them and they just keep going back for more. So props to those people. That could not be me. But here are the top ways that I think are pretty effortless in a way to simply live fully and hopefully extend this beautiful life that we have on this planet. So number one, pretty self-explanatory, I think, wear your damn seatbelt. I still run into people who do not wear their seatbelt. They just live with that beep. The beep, beep, beep that tells you to wear that seatbelt, because it is quite simply, one of the easiest ways to cheat death in this planet. Obviously, there are rare occasions where, unfortunately, the seatbelt did more harm than good in a car accident. However, I'm pretty sure it's a very high percentage that seatbelts are definitely there for a reason when it comes to getting in a car crash. They often are a huge benefit to you if you choose to wear it. So, wear your damn seatbelt. Who wants to listen to that sound anyways? If you have any type of newish car in the last decade, it's beeping at you. And I don't know how you're listening to it, but just throw your damn seatbelt on. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. Like, that's literally one of the easiest ways to cheat death on this planet. So, number one. Number two, wear a helmet if you're on a bike or a motorcycle. Why are people still not wearing helmets? You are literally exposed to all of the elements when you are on either a motorcycle or a bike. Why is it not just commonsensical to wear a helmet? I'm telling you one thing, people don't think you look cooler because you're not wearing one. I actually think people look stupid if they're not wearing a helmet. I'm like, who is this idiot that still thinks not wearing a helmet is cool and they shouldn't have a helmet on their head? So, I don't know, just my personal opinion there. I think that is, again, one very simple way you can protect yourself and your one brain that you receive in this world. So, wear your helmet, another very simple way to cheat death. Number three, all right, the rest aren't necessarily like cheating death opportunities. They're just living well, and cheating death in the sense that a lot of these next moves prevent health issues that can cause premature death. So number three, finding ways to decrease stress. Y'all, and myself included, are stressed the F out all the time. So you gotta find ways that work for you to decrease your stress, whether that be setting boundaries and taking things off your plate, whether that be mindful practices like journaling or meditation or yoga. I take like a 5-minute morning anchor kind of routine for myself, and then I listen to things like sound bowls, meditations. And just getting outside is a big stress reliever for me, and going for walks and things of that nature. Literally anything that can help you decompress from your day. Every single day you should be doing something to help relieve and decompress from the daily stressors. because stress is one of the number one things that people, I don't want to say complain about, but advocate that they're having issues with, because we live in a very stressful world right now. So everyone is feeling it. And if you don't find ways, stress can influence so many different other health issues. So if you are stressing on a level 10, definitely take an inward look and see ways that you could help decompress from all of that stress that you're under. Number 4, eat a well-balanced diet. And this looks different for everyone, because depending on any health issues that you have going on, or maybe special circumstances with your health, everyone's diet that is going to work super well for their body is going to look different. And if you need guidance with that, I'd be happy to help you out. You can message me on my Instagram at megdavis.healthcoach, or if you go in the links in my bio, you can apply for one-on-one coaching. And that essentially just leads you to my wellness profile, which is a free tool that anyone is welcome to fill out. There's no obligation to sign up for anything after that, but I will take a peek at your responses, and that essentially gives me insight into any potential gaps in your day that could use empowering. And I'd be happy to share any insights and suggestions that I have in regards to your routine once you fill that out. So that's one way to gain support in that situation. But when it comes to just eating well balanced, just think like whole foods. Like, try to eat as less whole processed foods as you can. So think like outside aisles at the grocery store, like your meats, your vegetables, and your proteins, and then work your way in the aisles for like your grains and things of that nature. But try to limit things like in boxes as much as possible if you can. And coming off of that, reading labels. Reading labels is a tedious yet simple way that you can gain control over what you're ingesting, what you're using in your home, and the toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. Unfortunately, especially in the United States, we live in this world where things are fucking poisoning us, like from all angles, and we really have to pay attention to these things, or else you are cheating yourself of like moments on this earth because of things you might not even know you're ingesting. I was chatting with my friend the other day, and she mentioned that she saw reels and Doritos, something in Doritos were literally making rats glow. Why are the rats glowing? Like, I've never heard of anything in this planet, like a hearty, healthy being, glowing. So I'm not quite sure what's in our nacho Doritos, but why is it making the mouse glow? I don't know. So like, just ingredients that are in these things that we are regularly ingesting without question. So some things to be mindful of, or things that I've been trying to pay attention to. I am definitely not a 100% toxic-free home, because that is a very high standard to try and accomplish nowadays. So I'm just doing my very best to pay attention to things. When it comes to food, some things that I try to pay attention to are dyes. So any like red, blue, yellow, green, whatever, should not be on the label. If something's meant to be brown, let it be brown. Who cares if it looks ugly? I don't understand the whole concept of dyes. As a consumer, and I guess they have tried this, I know there's definitely been a study with Coca-Cola where they tried doing clear Coke, and apparently it did very negatively affect their consumer rates. So they went back to throwing in the caramel coloring or whatever the hell they use. But I don't know, like maybe as a consumer, we need to become more present of these things and start caring less about all of these bright colors and whatever. But in the home, I definitely try and pay attention to that when it comes to additives. So dyes, any additives that are unnecessary in a label. So a very simple example of this, peanut butter is like one of the most basic things. It should have nothing but peanut butter and maybe like oil in the ingredients. And then it's up to you if you're okay with any added sugars in that scenario, because if you do like a raw peanut butter, it is kind of like a drier taste than what we're typically used to. But be mindful of the added sugars too. There are so many added sugars in everything. Some things are like, for example, you think an oatmeal. You're looking at this oatmeal, it says it's like maple glazed donut flavored, whatever. and you look at the label and it has like 25 grams of added sugar. Just freaking eat the maple glazed donut, guys. It's basically the same thing. So that's what I mean. Like, the marketing on things that are geared to be healthier for you are no longer just, you can't just trust your gut with that stuff anymore. If it says whole oats or whatever, you're thinking it's healthy, but then you look at the label and see all that added sugar and realize it's like a dessert. So just being mindful about labels in that way, like paying attention to these things and just educating yourself on how to not be tricked by the marketing out there, because a pretty box or a pretty label is very misleading sometimes. And another thing I'm mindful of, aspartame is something that's a huge trigger word, especially for preventing cancer. This is, like, many studies have proven that this can heighten your threshold for developing cancer. So aspartame is a big one. Some guilty, foods that are guilty for having this in it are things that say like sugar-free. So this is essentially like a scientist formulated sugar that is very terrible for you. And common things that I see it in are the sugar-free or store brand seltzer waters. So again, another thing, people think, oh, I'm going to drink seltzer water instead of soda because it's better for me. But then there's this cancer ingredient inside of these seltzer waters that people aren't even aware of. So they're drinking these things like probably in excess per day because they're trying to kick that other negative habit of drinking soda because of all that added sugar that's unnecessary in the soda, and it just negatively impacts you on all angles. I guess we could add just like stop drinking soda on the list also for like cheating death and like living well, because soda is just terrible for you. There's no benefit other than it tasting great. So you make that choice. If you want that thing to be your one vice, go for it. But that is one also simple way to cheat death, is stop drinking soda because it's so bad for you. But yeah, look for aspartame. Seltzers, I've definitely seen a bunch in. Gum, chewing gum is a huge one. It's in almost every single chewing gum. I actually love the Pure brand, P-U-R. I often find it in the Marshall's checkout line, you know, when you're waiting and you have all those random things surrounding you. I typically find it there, or I'm pretty sure it's available on Amazon. I mean, everything's available on Amazon, so I would hope it would be. Definitely check out that chewing gum. And then just like a lot of box items that say sugar-free, I would definitely be mindful of at least looking for that one ingredient of aspartame to ensure that it's not in there. Number 5, let's move on. Reading labels. Cleaning products was the next thing I wanted to highlight quick. Looking for fragrances versus oils. Using essential oils is the power move that a lot of cleaning products are starting to make, because they're noticing the negative effects of fragrances on our bodies. And also plant-based ingredients is a big thing that a lot of wholesome brands are starting to lean into. So definitely pay attention to harsh ingredients in your cleaning products that are unsafe for us to be exposed to after recent studies. Number 6, moving on. Filtered water versus tap. Again, very simple power move. I mean, I definitely drink tap water every once in a while if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to go to the fridge, or I'm somewhere that doesn't have that option. But just a very simple way, again, to decrease the exposure of toxins in your body. Unfortunately, our tap water is pumped with things like fluoride and chlorine and things that are, again, terrible for us, but readily available. We're washing all our dishes and doing all these things with this water that is apparently terrible for us. So doing something simple like either buying a filtered water bottle or a Brita filter pitcher or things of that nature are super easy ways for you to lessen that exposure. You even have options that can screw onto your shower head. So there's like different filters you can throw on your shower head. You can even get filtration systems put in your home if you're really feeling extra about and passionate about the water situation that's going on. It just depends on your desire to limit that exposure and what your budget is too, because there are definitely a lot of top quality options for filtering out the tap water. And the last one that I have on here is just lean into a career that you love. This is hard because, like we mentioned, life is hard right now and we are all just trying to make ends meet. But why show up for something every single day that makes you unhappy? Because leaning into a career that doesn't bring you joy and happiness also kind of checks off a couple of these things on our list here to like live more fully. So if you're unhappy at your job, odds are that you're also stressed AF. So that's number 3 on our list. Finding ways to decrease stress. All right, well, that's already brought on by this job that makes you miserable. And then if you're not loving your job, maybe your eating is off because maybe there's too much on your plate, or maybe you don't take time for a lunch, or like things like that, like those little habits that are so instrumental for like fueling your body for your day, maybe go overlooked. Or maybe you're like a caffeine addict because you're just trying to stay awake and grind through your whole day of working, doing these things that are stressing you the F out. So if you just chose to lean into something that you truly love, as long as that's an option for you, or even like if you're hustling through like doing your best in this job that maybe doesn't make you miserable, but it's like not your favorite, find ways to monetize your natural talents on the side. You can literally monetize anything nowadays. It is so easy, and you might not blow up immediately, but guys, you can literally make money doing almost anything nowadays. So really take a hard look at your situation with your work and your career and yourself, and see how much of your day-to-day is bringing you joy, or it's draining you and bringing on those stressors. So a little self-check moment potentially, but hope this was fun. Again, kind of a random topic. I was just feeling passionate about simple ways. I guess I've just been really passionate because even last week we talked about effortless self-care and like things to just take care of yourself. I've just been on this rant about this topic of just like living fully, because I've just been really passionate about trying my best to be present and also not overlook these small moments and wins in the in-between seasons of like getting what you've been working towards, I guess. So like I'm in this weird in-between season with my businesses where I'm in that growth phase, and I feel like I'm working my booty off, but not necessarily seeing that payoff that I was hoping for at this point. But I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I absolutely love what I do with working one-on-one with people, with prioritizing their health and their well-being, and also now with the Not Your Average Prep membership, just sharing these healthy swap recipes that allow people to really eat incredible food all the time and just look forward to that next meal every single day. And that's been really fun. And this podcast obviously has been an amazing ride. So thank you again for pouring in to my channel. Let's wrap this baby up with our mocktail for the week. I named this one this morning because it's been a new kind of concoction I've just been whipping up for myself. It's not necessarily a special at Elevated Nutrition, which if you want to come try this out, definitely come swing by. I'm there definitely every single Monday and Wednesday. I swap Saturdays, but that's kind of hard to keep track of unless you're there often. But we're there Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 2:30, and then Saturdays 8 to 1. Sundays are for family. So mocktail of the week, I called it a mulled berry sangria because that's the kind of vibe it gives me. I start off with my number one lift-off flavor, blackberry. That's my absolute favorite. It's sour, it's fruity, I just drink it by itself sometimes because it's so good. So 1 blackberry lift-off, then half a teaspoon of our cinnamon herbal tea, 2 to 3 capfuls of cranberry aloe, and then top that baby off with some white grape to kind of tie in those fruity tart flavors. And this I've actually been enjoying hot. If I do it hot, I'll typically leave the white grape out of it because I feel like it doesn't really need it. But if I do it iced, that white grape on top kind of just adds that refresher vibe to it. So it's super refreshing and fruity and sour, and I just love it. And I hope you do too. So definitely come in and try that out, or message me on Instagram at megdavis.healthcoach if you'd like to chat about how to get hooked up with it at home. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in. Toodles.